It's a story of a girl who never dreamed of becoming a doctor. When she was in grade 8, 9 and 10, becoming a doctor was never her dream like many students. She was unsure about her future. Sometimes she imagined herself as an engineer. Other times she thought about completely different careers. She didn't have a fixed goal, but there was one thing she always knew. What she did, she would give it everything, means 100%. She would give her 100% in this. She studied sincerely, while others looked for shortcuts. She buried herself in books. She worked hard in school and achieved excellent grades in matriculation. Then came the moment that would quietly change her life. After grade 10, she had to choose between engineering and medical studies. She didn't spend months thinking about it. Her parents wanted her to choose medical, so she did. Not because it had always been her dream, not because she was passionate about becoming a doctor. She simply chose it and decided that if this was her path, she would walk it with her whole heart. And that's exactly what she did. During grade 11 and 12, she worked harder than she had ever worked before. There were days when she studied until her eyes hurt. There were nights when everyone else was asleep, but her room light was still on. She wasn't even sure if she would become a doctor, but she kept going. When the medical entrance exam approached, fear slowly crept into her mind. What if all this isn't enough? But she continued. She studied more than anyone around her. She sacrificed her comfort, her sleep, and countless moments of happiness. Finally, exam day arrived. She walked into the examination hall, carrying years of effort on her shoulders. The exam went right. When the results came out, she had scored remarkably well. In fact, her entrance exam score was high enough that many students could have secured admission with those marks. But life had other plans. At that time, her final grade 12 results had not yet been arrived. When they were announced, her marks were lower than expected. And because admission was calculated using both entrance exam scores and academic results, her overall merit dropped. Suddenly, the dream she had worked so hard for slipped away. Some of her friends had scored lower than her in the entrance exam. Yet because their grade 12 marks were higher, they secured government medical seats. But she didn't. The pain was unbearable. Days turned into weeks turned into months. She couldn't sleep, she couldn't focus. She kept asking herself the same question over and over again. If giving my 100% wasn't enough, then what more could I have done? People encouraged her to try again, to improve her marks, to sit for the entrance exam again. But there was a problem. The first time had taken everything she had. Every ounce of energy, every bit of determination, every sacrifice. When she looked back at that version of herself, she wondered if she could ever work that hard again. She wasn't afraid of not settling. She was afraid that she no longer had the strength to repeat the journey. Months passed while she battled her own thoughts. Eventually, she decided to improve her grades. She sat for her improvement exams, then she registered for the medical entrance exam again. But this time felt different. No matter how much she studied, she kept comparing herself to the girl she had been the year before. The girl who had given absolutely everything. And because of that, she never felt confident. She believed she wasn't working hard enough. She believed she wasn't doing enough. She believed she had already missed her chance. Then the results arrived and something unexpected happened. She had done it. She had done it. Her marks were excellent. She secured the government medical seat. The dreams she had fought for was finally hers. But strangely, she wasn't as happy as she thought she would be. There was no tears of joy, no overwhelming excitement, no feeling of victory. Instead, there was silence. A quiet emptiness she couldn't explain. Maybe it was because she had lost a year. Maybe it was because many of her friends were already ahead. Maybe it was because the journey had exhausted her so deeply that even success couldn't erase the pain. Everyone around her celebrated. They saw a girl who had finally achieved her dream. But they didn't see the battles she had fought inside herself. They didn't see the nights she cried, the doubts she carried, the fear she lived with, all the years she spent rebuilding herself after so many things. And perhaps that's a lesson. Sometimes achieving your dream doesn't feel the way you imagined. Sometimes the victory comes after so much pain that all you can do is sit quietly and whisper, I made it. Not with fireworks, not with celebration, but with strength, and sometimes that's the bravest victory of all. Thank you. This is a story of a girl